Hello and welcome to the Downsized Weekly Weigh-In. I am Laraine Durham.
And I'm Christopher Durham.
And together we're the Downsized. We're the channel that talks about all things GLP-1 weight loss related. GLP-1 medications are things like Zepbound, Mounjaro, Ozempic, Wegovy, compounded tirzepatide, and compounded semaglutide.
That's right.
I've lost over 50 pounds on compounded tirzepatide. This is our weekly show where we tell you all about how our week went, what our weight loss was for the week, and how things are going on our weight loss journey.
Welcome. It's nice to see you here today. Today, you may notice we're in a different place. We're actually in a hotel room in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Guess what we're doing? I know no surprise to anybody. We'll be boarding a cruise tomorrow, but we're not going to really talk about the cruise much, a little bit. But today we're going to, of course, do our weigh-in. This is our opportunity to tell you whether we're up, whether we're down, how we're doing, what we've eaten, how life was in general on GLP-1s. Do you want to start?
Sure. Okay, so I've been losing some more weight these last couple of weeks. And
do you want to? Is that a plan?
I'm not sure. So my starting weight was 193. I had lost about 50 pounds. It took me about the course of a school year, right? We started in September 29th of 2023. And then I hit my goal weight about 6 months later. So my first goal was 150 pounds, and then I decided I wanted to get to 143 pounds, making an even 50 pounds down. I don't know why I picked that.
Sounds like a good number.
I just picked that. Originally, my goal had been 150 because I'd always, my height had always been 5'5.5". Well, and then over the course of the past couple of years, I shrank to 5'5", and then last year, so at 5'5", my goal weight was 150 pounds at Weight Watchers. That was the top of their chart for that weight, for that height. And then when I went to my doctor visit last year, my doctor measured me and she said, "You're 5'4.25". And I said, "No, I'm not. I'm 5'5". And she said, "No, ma'am, you're 5'4.25". So when I got to 150, I thought, well, that's really the goal weight for 5'5", and now I'm really 5'4", so should I drop lower? So anyway, I dropped to 143. And last week I was 141.8, and this week I'm 140.6. So I lost 1.2 pounds this week. Don't really know what was going on. Our dinners all came from Factor.
We did a second week of Factor.
Did a second week of the Factor meal boxes, and we'll do a review on those. Nobody paid us or anything to do them. We just wanted to try them to see if how convenient they were, and price and quality and all that stuff.
What they tasted like.
Spoiler alert, we liked them. So then it's just a question of, what price you're going to pay. There's always so many promotions. So I'm on my maintenance dose has been 7.5 milligrams of compounded tirzepatide. I get my compounded tirzepatide from Mochi Health. Mochi is a sponsor of our Downsized Weekly Weigh-In, so thank you to Mochi for being a sponsor. So I've been with Mochi now for a year. I've been buying their compounded tirzepatide for a year. I've been meeting with their online doctor, and I have only good things to say about Mochi. You can get a 1 month supply, a 3 month supply, or now they even offer a 6 month supply.
Right.
If you'd like to try Mochi, you can use my code and save $40 off. And when you save $40, I save $40. The code is in the description, but it's GIYQ, the letter O, and 8, but you can just copy and paste it from the description, and you just go to joinmochi.com. So Mochi's doses, they recently changed their doses. So I was on a 7.5 milligram of compounded tirzepatide, and that lines up with Zepbound and Mounjaro, the name brand of from Eli Lilly. Mochi changed their dosing schedule, so now my 7.5 dose has become an 8.8 dose. So they just changed their dosing schedule a little bit to make it different from the Zepbound and Mounjaro doses. They also compound with niacinamide, which is a B vitamin. So I think that little bit, going up that little bit from the 7.5 to the 8.8, I feel like kind of made a difference for me, because this past week I lost 1.2. The week before I lost 2.2, but we had been up because had a colonoscopy, and then we went on a cruise, and I was up a little bit after the cruise. But now today I'm at 140.6, which is my lowest all-time weight. So I'm 55 years old. I've got 3 kids. So yeah, so this is my lowest weight, so far in this journey. This is week 71 of our weight loss journey. We've been doing this now for 71 weeks. I've taken over 71 shots, which is kind of mind-blowing, because if you told me at the start I'd be giving myself a shot every week pretty much forever, I'd told you you're crazy. But if you told me I was going to lose 52.4 pounds, I would also say you're crazy. So, and here we are.
How are you feeling about this weight? I mean, where do you want to stop? Where do we want to get you leveled out?
I don't know. I mean, we had that whole conversation with Dr. Dan. We had a great interview with Dr. Dan. If you haven't watched it, I hope that you will check it out. And I kind of asked him a lot of questions just for me personally about how do you find your goal weight, and how do you know when you're at the right place. And basically, I think we came to the conclusion that it's something you just have to figure out, like how you want to live your life. So if you're at a weight where you're constantly restricting your food and, basically not able to go out with friends or have a piece of birthday cake, or, and I don't want to live like that. So I want to live at a weight that I can maintain with the help of compounded tirzepatide, of course. And I feel like, I'm in this weight of 140, I can probably maintain. But there's this little nagging, voice inside my head that says, well, should you really be 135? There's no reason that I should.
Well, how do you feel?
I feel good. I feel great. I mean, I'm wearing a size 4 or 6.
The size has nothing to do with how you feel.
Well, to me, it has a lot to
I'm talking about your health, though, not about what size clothing you wear.
My health is good. I mean, my blood pressure has always been good throughout. My cholesterol has always been good throughout. I kind of went through menopause, I think, about a year ago when we started the beginning of this medication. So I think maybe that helped things. I'm not sure. But I feel good. I work out 4 or 5 times a week. I'm able to do that. I'm able to, travel and do things that I want to do with, you and the kids and everything. So, I feel good. I feel good where I am.
Very good. All right, so we haven't already said it, so let me throw in a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, if you haven't already liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel, The Downsized, please do so. We are closing in on 10,000 subscribers, and you could be that 10,000 subscriber. We would deeply appreciate that. And when you do, make sure you hit that like bell. That way, every time we publish something, it'll alert you and you'll know. And sometimes we randomly go live. Wouldn't be surprised if it happens this coming week. There's a lot going on. The other thing is, we always like to say we are not doctors. We're not medical professionals. We're just husband and wife, suburban, standard people who found these medications and have done well with them, and we wanted to tell the world. We've talked to a lot of folks out there. We've learned a lot of things, but this is our learned experience and our research. So if you need help with your health or a weight loss journey, talk to your doctor to make sure you get personalized care just for you. Right. All right. So my turn. Dun, dun, dun.
Now, when I did a drum roll like that, you told me not to beat on the table.
Well, I get to do it. Dun, dun, dun.
How's your weight this week, Christopher?
Oh, my weight is very good. So I started this September of 2023. correct? Is when we started?
Correct.
At 286.4. Laraine says I say 0.5, but it's a point of difference.
No, I say 0.4. Anyway, continue. Please continue.
Okay.
286.4.
286.4 was my starting weight. And it was looking rough. I was closing in on 300, and I think, honestly, I hadn't been weighing myself much, really, for 10 years probably. I couldn't tell you the last time I'd weighed myself. So, I mean, I'm sure over 300 pounds at one point. Today, I am at 187.4. So for those of you who have been following along, this is the first official weigh-in where I have met my goal weight. My goal weight was 190 pounds. Yay. I mentioned it the other night in the live, so if you were there, you would have seen that. So you might have seen people talking about it. They were congratulating me. Thank you, everyone who did that. So today, 187.4, which puts me 98 pounds down.
Wow, 98 pounds.
So I'm taking 15 milligrams, or I have been taking for the last 4 or 5 months, 15 milligrams. When Mochi switched over to the 16.6, I started taking that. Honestly, that little bit of bump, I think, helped me a good bit.
Yeah.
That little bit of extra medicine was not a bad thing. And Mochi added that extra dose. So they have a whole extra level in their dosing strategy, which I think is pretty beneficial. I am 5'10.5". I'm 56 years old. We've been married 20, how many years? 21? 22 coming up?
I think it's 22 in March.
22 in March.
It's a long time.
So that's that's our story. It's, if you had told me 71 weeks ago that I would be almost 100 pounds down, I would have laughed at you.
No, we
and
would
told
have
you there is no way it would happen.
Right.
We were talking this morning when we were getting ready. She's like, well, you always said your goal weight was 190. I said, yeah, but I kind of threw it out there. And I mean, I'd worked with my doctor. We had picked a number based on a lot of things in our conversations. But I kind of threw it out there like saying I want to win $1 million, or, it was just kind of this number that really wasn't obtainable. I didn't really believe it could happen. So to wake up one morning, step on a scale and be at 187, so pretty good below the weight. And honestly, I mean, at this point, 98 pounds down, I will go for 100 pounds. There's another 2 pounds. It's fine. That would put me below the weight I weighed when I graduated high school. So I weighed 186 pounds when I graduated high school.
I think I was around 220. Yeah. So, you didn't have a weight problem as a child.
No, we had very different journeys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I always, seems like from the age of about 10 or 12 on, always was struggling to lose weight. But yours came on more, I guess, in your 20s, late 20s?
Late 20s, early 30s.
I mean, we met in our early 30s. We weren't small people when we met. I wasn't. I don't know, I was like size 12, 14. You were like size...
I don't remember.
38. What I mean?
That's a good guess. That's a good guess.
I mean, so, on the heavier side of average for sure, but not, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I'm not sure at all.
But we've, throughout our marriage, I've always been on a quest to lose weight. Like you've seen me do diets, you've seen me run half marathons, you've seen me do different workouts, the kickboxing, the CrossFit type workouts, all the things. And Christopher sometimes would say, "Oh, I'm not going to eat lunch this week," and he dropped 20 pounds.
You downplay that, but I mean that's not. It wasn't ever that simple. Yes, I could lose 20 pounds, but basically it meant I didn't eat for a week. It wasn't that I didn't eat lunch. That wasn't. It wasn't ever I didn't eat lunch. A lot of women believe that about men, and yes, we can lose weight. We also have a lot more to lose.
Well,
so
I guess. So almost 100 pounds. So that's really great.
Yeah, it's insane. I don't even know. And life is. I can't even really explain how different it is 100 pounds down. It's almost something you have to experience to even get, because. Do you think
people are nicer to you?
I don't know. I mean,
maybe for men it's different.
I think in business, certainly you don't think it matters, but look around at executive suites, look around at leadership teams, and they're not ever heavy people.
Mm-mm.
So I think at some point, if you are overweight, it's going to be a challenge because there is a bias for both men and women. I think it's worse for women, but absolutely. But you're 100 pounds, 200 pounds weight, and you're working. I mean, I was working at a Fortune 5 company. So to sit in the audience when we would do our quarterly meetings with 2,000 people, and there's the 10 executives on the stage that are all 6'2", so height was also a thing. 6'2", that they didn't look like me, and they were never putting somebody that looked like me on that stage.
Right.
Which is what happened.
And I think that I was a clothing buyer for about 15 years, and it's a very competitive job. Even within a company, it can be competitive between the different buyers. And some of those women I worked with were so thin, right? Like you never saw them eat. One lady I worked with only drank coffee. Like no one ever saw her eat anything but Starbucks Americanos. So, and for me, as I got heavier after I had children, I became one of the plus size buyers. I bought plus size pants and bottoms. So it was okay for the plus size buyers to be plus size, but the junior buyers were definitely not plus size, and it was kind of had a pecking order of who was more important, right, or whose comments carried more weight in meetings. So, and even the head of our department was, our senior VP was very thin. She ran 3 miles a day, very fit. So, you didn't see any larger people at any of the head of any of the, the retail companies that I ever worked for sure.
No, absolutely not. So yeah, so I don't know. I honestly still don't quite believe it, and I don't. It's one of those things. I was never the person who walked by a mirror and looked at it. Now, this lovely lady never saw a mirror she didn't look in, but
well, I mean. And I was in the clothing industry for so long. I was in retail industry for so long, and all of that is just about size, right? So we'd have, sessions with fit models, and I'd have to look at the fit. I have to look at the garment on the fit model and say, this is too big, or this is too big, and that needs to come in, or this needs to come in. So I was always very aware of how things fit, right? Especially pants, because that was my, area of specialty. So it's just, I've always been very focused on sizes just because that's, just the world that I lived in for so long.
Yeah, I mean,
and sizes are all made up, by the way.
Yeah, they're all made up. Even men's sizes, which is even more confusing because men's sizes are in measurements. So when I buy a pair of pants, they're at a 32 inch, a 34 inch, they're 34 right now, but I started, before I did this, they were up to a 42 and one pair of 44s. But that's an inch measure, so you should be able to measure the tape measure all the way around that waist, and it should be accurate. Well, no, it wasn't. A 42, a 32, it just never made any sense. The accuracy was insane. But I mean, we've been, last week, out and about, and she needed to do bathing suits, so we were in Target and wandering around, and every time I catch myself in a mirror, particularly a full-length mirror, I don't even know who it is.
You don't even recognize yourself.
And I'm like, who is this? And then clothes fit so differently. I mean, so, at basically 100 pounds, my pants, my stomach overhung, so my belt I couldn't pull them all the way up. So there was always this kind of sagging, and the lines didn't work, and nothing ever fit. It was just not right. So now to look at myself and go, wow, there's actually a straight line in the coat. The pants stay up. It's I don't even know. It's crazy. It's just
Yeah, well, and it takes your mind a minute to realize that that's you in the mirror, right? It's just the body dysmorphia. So I've always been used to seeing myself look a certain way, and now I don't look that certain way anymore. So it's kind of a disconnect between, are these really my clothes? Like, do I really fit it? Like, it's weird how your brain has to catch up. So
well, my brain has not.
no, I mean, I guess I've been working with it for about 6 months now, so I've had a little bit more time for it to settle in, but it's definitely an adjustment.
It was funny. I was texting when we had a long day in the airport yesterday, and our plane got delayed, and they took us off the plane, on the plane. So I'm texting with my youngest daughter, and I'm like, "Hey, Daddy made his goal weight." She was like, "Well, I thought you made it a couple of months ago."
She's like, "Yeah, so you already did that, I thought."
So it's just I don't know.
Well, can I tell what she had texted us? She's on a weight loss journey too, so she had texted us some of her results, which were
very good as well.
Very good.
Yeah,
so
she's doing great.
We were very happy to hear that. She's a college. We've got 2 girls in college, and then I have a son who's in his mid-20s.
So that's that. So as I said, we're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We are going to board. You guys know we like to cruise. Everybody wants to know how we cruise, and we own our own business. So we're able to cruise off season, which makes it a lot cheaper. We plan far ahead, and we look for deals. Man, we look for deals. I would love to tell you there's a secret, but there's not. You just have to look and be able to plan out.
Yeah. Our last conference we held at a Hyatt, so we got some Hyatt points from doing the conference there, and so we're at Hyatt House.
Not an ad.
In Fort Lauderdale. So, but we get frequent stay nights.
Mm-hmm.
We use a American Airlines credit card, so we use that a lot for business. So we have a lot of frequent flyer miles for that. So those things definitely.
There's tips and tricks, and I mean we'll be on the cruise ship, and honestly, people get confused because usually I will get up in the morning and work for an hour or two, and she goes to work out or whatever it is we're doing, and we'll have 4 sea days on this one. So there's. You're on the ship and you can go do things, but I said I have some coffee. I spend a couple of hours working. As long as there's internet, we can work. So it doesn't matter where we are. We can do it. We'll film some videos there.
Yeah. Why don't you show the travel case that we brought with us for our shots?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So this cruise is an 8-night cruise. So we brought 1 shot with us. We took one yesterday before we went to the airport, and then we brought one with us. So this travel case has the little temperature gauge, so you can tell what temperature is on the inside.
And it has little freezer packs that comes in it. They're actually in the freezer right now.
Do you want to get them
out?
What is that?
A little handle.
Yeah, so we travel with some wipes and the freezer packs. So the hotel where we're staying has a kitchen, so it has a refrigerator and freezer. So Christopher popped the ice packs in the freezer, and the shots he put in the refrigerator. And we were able to travel with some branded Zepbound shots. So Christopher has a prescription for Zepbound from his doctor, so we have a variety of dosages at home. So I have a 7.5 one for me. And here's a 15. Oh, this is a Mounjaro. How did we get a Mounjaro?
Oh.
I think this is one of Christopher's from the beginning, from when he first started. What's the bud date on this? Let's just check it. March 20th, 2026. So we're good. These things have long bud dates.
So Mounjaro and Zepbound are the same medication. So
yeah.
In this case, we just traveled with these because we had them and it was easy. But this case is nice because it has a freezer pack that goes on each side. And then in the center, you have a little zip pocket. You can put your wipes or your needles or whatever and put 2 pens and zip it up.
Yeah.
Super easy.
We've also traveled with the compounded medications. We've used, traveled with the little vials and the insulin needles. And these things are very easy to go through TSA with. You want to put them in your carry-on luggage. You want to, hand carry them. And they don't even, did you even take it out when you went through TSA this
One time I've had to, but it was a random pull. It wasn't.
Oh. Yeah.
And the guy looked at it and he goes, "Oh, that's a nice case."
It's a nice case.
And I think there's so many people out there that have diabetes, and there's carry EpiPens. There's all kinds of things out there that you might need one of these for. So they don't question it all. Though that time he opened up just to make sure the pads were frozen, so it wasn't liquid. And even then, these are under the liquid amount anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just want to make sure that your shot, once it's out of the refrigerator, you don't want it to go above 80 degrees, and you don't want it to freeze. So as long as it's good for 28 days, as long as you're in that temperature range. But if you can keep it cooler, it's just better. So we just try to keep ours.
And people ask because I have taken all three. So I have taken Zepbound, Mounjaro, and I have taken compounded tirzepatide. I have seen identical results in the last 70 weeks. Side effects haven't changed. The only real difference to me has been, first of all, the method of how you do it. So the pen versus the needle and vial. Honestly, I kind of like the pen better, but I do like the flexibility of being able to dose whatever's appropriate to you with a needle and vial. So
you're making me nervous with those because I just think
they're
about
fine.
how much they cost.
No, they're fine. And then, of course, the price is significantly different.
So with the coupon, there's an Eli Lilly manufacturer's coupon you can go online and get if you have insurance, but your insurance does not cover weight loss medication. So that's the case for us. So a box of 4 pens at CVS or Walgreens will cost us $650. So the price is quite substantial. And then, at Mochi, where I get my compounded tirzepatide, it's $199 a month for compounded tirzepatide, any dose. So it's a lot cheaper, right? And we have seen the results to be the exact same. Now, I've only taken, this will be like my second branded shot I think I've ever taken. I might have taken maybe 2 out of the 71 shots we've taken. So sometimes we decided to travel with these shots because on the vials we didn't want to have to bring a vial back. You know what I mean? So the vials we had were pretty full, so we didn't want to have to travel with it back and worry about keeping it cool and all that.
So yeah, I mean, with all the controversy around tirzepatide and whether it's in stock and Eli Lilly and the court cases in Texas, we've chosen to stock up as best we can. So fortunately, I have a prescription for Zepbound, so we have a good bit of that we've purchased over the last 6 months and is in the refrigerator. And then we also did the 3-month subscription with Mochi.
Yeah.
So we'll be okay for a little while if need be. And then I haven't begun to think about what maintenance will look like for me yet. We're going on a cruise, so I'm sure I'll be up a pound or 2 from the cruise. I'll get back and get it down and then schedule an appointment with my local physician to kind of talk about what his next steps look like. We've talked to a lot of people, and maintenance looks different for a lot of people. And Dr. Dan talked about it in the interview the other day, and really about finding your best dose, your best weight, and it might be different for everybody. So do I think I'll come down? Probably.
Come down in what?
In dose. In dose.
Probably.
It'd certainly be cheaper if we could, so that'd be good, particularly with compounded. But I'm not in any rush. I mean, I'm okay because, right now Lilly has tests, research in the field called Surmount and Maintain, where they're testing basically a couple of things: a placebo, the patient stays on the highest dose that they maintain. So in your case, you got to 12.5, so you stay there. And then another one where they come down to 5 milligrams. So that's still in the field. We don't know what that comes back at. So there's a lot of different strategies.
Yeah, I mean, I came back down in dose. My highest dose was 12.5, and I came back down in dose because at the time that I thought that was what I was supposed to do. Like, I thought I was supposed to get down to the lowest dose possible and try to maintain that. But really, I don't even know that that's correct. So now what I feel like is when you want to maintain your weight, you want to get to your dose where you're no longer losing weight, right? So for me, maybe it's not this 8.8 dose. I seem to be still losing weight on this. So maybe I need to drop it down to Mochi's 6.6 dose. And I don't think there's any, you just have to look at for you based on if you have any side effects or how you're feeling or how your weight loss is doing, whether you need to go up or down in dose. And of course, talk with your doctor about that too.
And medication is not the only tool in this conversation, right? So it's medication, it's activity, and it's food.
Right. Well,
right.
Food is
so you have to
key.
you will have to adjust all three based on what you're doing, right? So you also might need to eat a few more calories.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe you need to eat more calories too.
Probably.
Because I think sometimes we don't eat enough. Like I'll eat usually something at breakfast, we'll eat lunch and dinner, and usually that's it. And we're not eating a whole lot when we're at home, and we don't really even, I don't really even think about it. Like we did the whole thing on protein bars the other day, and I will eat one sometimes, but it's not an everyday occurrence. It's more if I'm just wanting, honestly, some chocolate or something candy-like, and that protein bar just kind of shuts off that want. It feels like all the
I'm still a little nauseated from those protein bars. No, thank you. Actually, people were asking, well, what do you snack on? And honestly, I don't snack.
Sometimes we have nuts.
Yeah, she'll buy nuts, and I'll have
cashews,
a handful of cashews or something in the afternoon. But it's
one of our daughters is allergic to cashews, so if she's home, I usually don't buy them. Or I try to remember not to buy them. But you're a big chip fan, right? You like.
Yeah, but we don't buy chips
because
I don't need them. Now, we do have a couple of packs of Quest chips at the home, and I've gone through periods of eating those, and maybe we'll do a snacking kind of protein thing if we can find some more things.
There's not a lot of those.
I think there's more out there than you think, so we'll see what we can find.
Tell us your favorite protein crunchy snack.
Yeah, crunchy snack.
And we'll get some and try to review them. We've got the Quest. I just haven't.
There's some other ones out there.
I've seen a lot out there. A lot of protein bars, a lot of protein powders. We're not going to review protein powders because I'm not buying 12 canisters of protein powder.
Just like $7,000 worth of protein powder.
Yeah.
Plus, you thought I didn't like protein bars and protein shakes, protein powders? Ooh.
He really doesn't like that at all.
No, I've had a couple of people ask, they're like, what's your secret? And I'm like, there's not the secret. I am on the simplest version of this plan possible. I take the shot consistently every week. I've only missed the shot once, and I didn't want to miss it, but we forgot it when we traveled once. It's the only time I missed
a few days.
And I picked it up a couple days later.
Yeah.
I eat real food. Real food. The protein is meat, beans, whatever. Real food. We drink Fairlife milk. I eat protein first, vegetables, then a little bit of carbs, a little bit of fats. That's it. I take a multivitamin. That's all I do. Nothing. There's nothing fancy about it.
I do more than that, but y'all know me.
You got to do what works for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. You got to do what works for you. And it's interesting because I've always been a breakfast eater, and Christopher has really not ever been a breakfast eater. Because to me, all my life, I would wake up and think, oh, it's a whole new day. I have a whole new set of calories or points to eat or whatever, and what's for breakfast, right? But now it's more a question of how can I fuel my body? How can I fuel my workout? How can I fuel my day? So I try to have something protein in the morning. Usually it's a half a protein shake in my coffee. Sometimes I add, things to that, like maybe oatmeal or a piece of toast or banana or something like that. But Christopher doesn't eat really any breakfast. And when I saw a study that said people who never ate breakfast did better when they just didn't eat breakfast. And people who had always eaten breakfast probably need to eat breakfast on this GLP-1 journey. So I thought that was interesting. So, I don't think you should necessarily make yourself eat breakfast if you don't normally, right? And you want to eat in a way that you eat things that you like in a pattern that you like, right? I don't want to go 16 hours without eating. I like eating. So a lot of people talk about how the medication has just dimmed their desire for all food. I think we were kind of maybe like that in the beginning, but
sure.
now, I'm kind of in a place where I can eat food. I can enjoy. Yesterday in the airport, we were waiting for hours when they had to switch planes because the plane had a problem, which is great, fine. So we were in I started to say U.S. Air Club, in the American Airlines Club, and it was, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the afternoon. They had little snacks out that you can just, pick up. So I went to check out the little snacks. So I made myself a coffee, I got a latte, and then I was looking at the little snacks, and they had
moon pies
and macaroons. And I thought, ooh. So I grabbed one of each, right? Did I need that? No. Was I bored? Yes. Was I looking for something to do? Yes. So I ate one of each. And then we got on the plane, and I just felt terrible. Like the sugar, I just felt kind of headachy. I was like, this just did not make me feel good. And we finally got to our hotel about 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And it's Valentine's Day. We had a reservation, and so we missed, but we ended up going there anyway and having dinner, sitting down to dinner at 9:30.
Oh.
9:30. Like, who eats dinner at 9:30? Apparently a lot of people do on Valentine's Day in Fort Lauderdale. And we went to this really nice Greek.
Theos Esoteria, and I won't say it correctly, but we'll call them out because they were fabulous.
Yeah.
I had messaged them. We made a reservation on Open Tables. We had a 6:30 reservation. We're supposed to get here at 3 o'clock. We should have had plenty of time. And I'd messaged them like, our flight is not even going to land until 7 o'clock. And apologize. And, I'd had to put a credit card in because it's Valentine's Day. They don't want to have an empty table.
Yeah.
So I was like, go ahead and charge me the $50. I understand. It is what it is. And they were messaging me back. And they were like, no. And we landed and we're in the Uber coming over. And they called. They're like, are you coming? I'm like, well, it's like, it's late. And the girl's like, we have live music. We'll save a table for you. You should come.
I'm kind of like, I just kind of still felt bad from the sugar. And I'm like, do you want to?
So we
did.
Came back, did what we had to do, and went over to the restaurant. Beautiful place. Just the lovely thing about Greek food, right, is it's Mediterranean. It was fresh. And this isn't your grandma's gyros and French fries.
No, I had sea bass.
They were doing it. I had a whole deboned branzino. It was just delicious. Fresh. And it's very low calorie. It's not like this isn't bad food for you.
No.
But it was very good food, and it wasn't too much food, and it was fresh. And
and we We split a piece of baklava for dessert. And, so my dad's parents came here from Greece. So I'm like, well, if it's not like my Yaya's baklava. And it wasn't. But it was pretty good. But we left. We didn't even eat it all.
No.
I was like, sugar. I was like, was so over sugar yesterday.
Well, that's the challenge for me on these medications is it has made all the sweet much, much sweeter. So it's a little, I can take a bite or two and then I'm like, that's too much.
I can take more than a bite or two, but it just makes me feel bad. So I don't want to not feel good, right? That kind of defeats the purpose. This morning we went down for the free breakfast at the hotel, and we've seen a lot of free breakfasts in hotels, and they're usually, you got some bagels over here, and you got some scrambled eggs, and you got this and that. And I did find a hard-boiled egg, which was fine, and they had some little potato cakes, which I wouldn't normally pick up, but
they were all oddly burned on the edges.
Yeah, I
like
did
black
have one
burned
of those.
on the edges.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted a banana, but they only had oranges. So I tried. They had like some yogurt, like a big, which kind of always grosses me out. I like it better when they have the little individual yogurts because then I know how much I'm eating and the calories and the grams of protein. But it was like a big bowl of yogurt. And then they had a big bowl of berries. I'm like, oh, you don't usually see raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries in a bowl on anything.
They were frozen berries, yeah.
They were frozen. So I got some yogurt, I put some berries in, and they were completely like still frozen. And it just like, I was like, nah, I don't even want it. So I just ate my egg, and it's fine.
So we are in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We'll be boarding the lovely Celebrity Reflection later on today, which for those of you who have been watching know, that is the ship that will be the same ship as the Downsized at Sea cruise presented by Mochi. So we'll be touring the ship with some of their personnel. We'll be on the ship for 8 nights, going to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao for this cruise. Yeah, for this cruise.
Yes.
And we'll be touring it with the events folks and kind of looking at spaces and figuring out what we want to do for that Downsized at Sea cruise. So we look forward to that. We would love to have you join us for the Downsized at Sea cruise. It is June 23rd through the 27th. Of course, as I said, we'll be on the Celebrity Reflection. That cruise will go to Bimini, Bahamas, and Nassau, Bahamas.
The Nassau.
Yes. The Nassau.
Bimini and Nassau in the Bahamas. It leaves from Fort Lauderdale.
Yep. The rooms start at $8.99 per person, double occupancy. Of course, restrictions apply. If you reach out on our website, thedownsized.org, you'll see a button at the top that says Downsized Cruise. You also see a big picture of us just a little bit further down. You can click either one of those, and it'll take you to the information. And you can call our travel agents, Kelly and Roberta, and they will take care of you. We would love to have you join us for the Downsized at Cruise presented by Mochi.
Yeah. Thank you to Mochi for sponsoring the Downsized Cruise. We'll have some swag, some Mochi swag to give out to our Downsized cruisers, and we'll do lots of fun activities, some workouts, maybe an excursion. So we'll have lots of fun things planned.
Some meet and greets, all kinds of fun stuff. And of course, we now have, I think, 37 or 38 people.
Yeah.
So what that means for those of you who have been following along is I will indeed line dance. It will not be pretty, so I apologize in advance. But you're going to have to pick your song because I'm not line dancing to all the songs.
Oh, no, you're line dancing to all the songs.
No.
Electric Slide.
No.
Cupid Shuffle. Wobble.
This is a line dance single
wobble,
performance,
baby,
one night only, one song only.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm ready. All right, so
that's our weekly weigh-in. So how much were we down? You were down 52?
No one's even watching still at this point. I'm down a total of 52.4.
And I was down 187.4. No, that's not right. I was down 98 pounds.
Yeah. If you've watched this far, is there a ship?
There's a ship.
Put a little ship emoji in the comments so we know that somebody watched this far. And thank you for watching.
Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned because we'll probably go live from the ship at least one day, and we will do a live stream from the ship. So you will not want to miss that. And we got a lot of good stuff set up for you this week.
So make sure you like and subscribe. So if we do something, you might get a notification if you've liked and if you've subscribed. And we're almost to 10,000 subscribers. So
you could be the 10,000th subscriber.
That'd be cool if we could give something away for the
I don't know how you knew.
I don't know how we know.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, well, very good. Well, thank you very much for joining us for our weekly weigh-in. We are The Downsized. I'm Christopher Durham.
I'm Laraine Durham.
See you next time.